Hello there, you absolute legends. Emma McElhinney here with Piss Off Perimenopause and the Musings of a Bullshit Queenager. I am here to ruin your misconceptions about perimenopause, fat loss, and kick midlife in the face. So if you think your 40s are a drag, think again. Because every week I am going to be stripping down the myths about perimenopause. I'm serving you raw, unfiltered truths about your health and smashing misconceptions about fat loss. And a whole lot more. So if you thought you knew midlife, you don't know the half of it. Aging is inevitable, but getting old is a choice. So buckle up, grab a glass of something yummy, and let's get to it. Hello, my lovelies, and welcome to a new episode of Piss Off Perimenopause and the Musings of a Bullshit Queenager. I'm really excited about today's episode because we have a self-proclaimed woo person. So we've just actually had quite a big conversation before even hitting record about woo-woo, and I am fully confident that you're not going to get switched off by this woo-woo conversation today. It's actually a hugely interesting topic because we're going to be talking about money, and like it or not, we all want more money, don't we? And we are going to talk about money manifestation. We're going to talk about money mindset. But before we do that, I'm going to hand over to our lovely guest, who is Eloise Burton, aka the Money Alchemist, to just tell us a little bit about you, who you are, where you're from, what you do, why you do it. And then we're going to talk all about money.
Yeah, my favorite subject. Thank you, Emma, for having me. I'm really excited to be here. Yeah, I'm all out woo now.
No.
But I combine everything I do, I combine with some logic because we're here on this earth experiencing this life, right? But anyway, I'm Eloise Burton, I'm the Money Alchemist. I have managed to transform my life from money mess to the Money Alchemist. There's a bit of play on words there, but and I've done it through money manifesting. But I want you to know that whilst I'm all out woo, that isn't my background. Like my first part of my career, I was in the Royal Navy. Yeah. And then I left that and I went into education and quality assurance and operations. So very process driven, very like tick boxy, very logical. Everything had a place and a place for everything. And I came more to the woo stuff, more to the manifesting stuff. It was always in my life, I think, but I resisted it. And I became more and more into it as I got closer and closer to my 40s. I think we know that a lot happens to us as we age as women. And for me, it was like reconnecting to something that I felt like I'd forgotten. It wasn't something new that I was learning. It was like a remembering, like a recall to where I'd been perhaps in a past life or before I was taught that I had to follow process and tick boxes. And I have made a beautiful business and so a beautiful business out of showing people how to manifest money the way I did it. I created a beautiful process, there you go, still in my process mode, called Money Alchemy, which is a combination of logic and magic, and it helps you to manifest more money and be so confident and clear in your worthiness, which I think is something that we have also disconnected from.
Yes, I totally agree. And I think it's so interesting that, like you mentioned, that kind of aging process and how you kind of started opening yourself up more to the woo. And we were chatting earlier. I mean, this is something that I've certainly been opening myself up more. And I think many women do it in their 40s. It's kind of like we get to a point, it's almost identity, isn't it? Of going, well, who even am I? What is my purpose? Like, this is my life. And we have a bit of a, is this it? Is this really what's happening? And,
Yeah.
I think that recognition that not necessarily that God, angels, universe and all that kind of stuff, but the questioning of, is there something else? Is there other ways of thinking about things and doing things is quite common for this kind of age group. So it's really interesting that you've gone through such a big shift. Like you're like Royal Navy, then the most boring jobs in the world, like operational process and quality assurance. Like,
Yeah. I know, right?
and now you're the Money Alchemist. Actually, before I go into more manifestation questions, what did your friends say when you moved from being in corporate, I'm assuming, with your processy driven, to being a money alchemist? How did that go down in your friendship group?
It was a mixed bag, I'm not gonna lie. And I think this again happens at this age anyway, but I had the friends who were like already like in the woo-woo path and they're already open to it. They were like, yay, she's finally back. And then I had friends who couldn't, and I know you've got some business owners that listen, like they couldn't understand why I didn't want a job anymore. Why why was I doing this business thing, let alone money alchemy and money manifestation? They couldn't understand that I was stepping out of what was considered normal. And some of them have stayed and got over that, and others have left. And it felt like a bit of a shedding, actually. Like as I evolved and stepped into the woman, the wild woman that I'm meant to be, some of those people fell away, and that was painful. And I think that is part of our evolution, especially as we get to the 40s. We start stepping into who we are, and some of the people that we thought would be with us for life fall away, and we have to reconcile that. But what's beautiful is new friends come on and they're like, they've never known the Royal Navy or the quality assurer with the checklist. They've only ever known me as the money alchemist, so they take me as I am. It's quite hard, isn't it, with friends, especially as we get older, because it feels harder to make friends. But yeah, it's the ones who matter didn't mind, and the ones who minded unfortunately showed they didn't matter. And that's a Dr. Seuss quote. I do love it.
It is so funny, isn't it? And now though, like I think most entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs, there's a connection with each other, regardless of what your area of business is. Like, I've made so many amazing connections with people that I've got zero interest in what I do, and I've got zero interest in what they do. But it's that whole risk-taking, like never flying by the seat of your pants mindset that connects people, isn't it? So that's, yeah, I went through something similar with friends group as well. But what's interesting is my bestest friend, she's now, like I've been doing this for nearly 10 years now, but she's just now left her career and wants to do her entrepreneur thing as well. So
yeah, that's like you inspired her. I love that.
Hopefully, never. And that's the thing as well. You never know who's listening and what seeds you're planting, even if like, yeah. Anyway, right. So I want to ask you a very basic question, but it's one that I often get. I don't actually think I have clarity in what the answer is. So you're going to clear this up for me. But what is manifesting? Because we hear about it all the time.
Yeah.
But what is it?
So if you manifest something, you're actually creating it. That's the basic of the word manifest. It is a verb. It's something that you do. And it can be explained by like you can manifest. The simple explanation is you ask for something and you get it, you manifest it. If I say to you, Emma, I like your Blue Yeti mic there, can I have it? Like I could manifest that by asking. You'll probably go, no, piss off. But that's what it is, manifesting, creating something, getting something. Now, a lot of people will say, oh, it's so woo-woo to manifest, but it's not woo-woo at all. It's science. It's basic science. Like attracts like. Particles are attracted to particles that vibrate on the same level. And I think it was Albert Einstein that actually taught us that everything is energy. Okay, so it's not woo-woo, it's science. And I think what often happens when science explains stuff is we lose sight of the magic that's in it. Like when we see a rainbow and we go, oh, that's so magical, but actually we know it's light hitting a prism in a raindrop and it's projecting. Does that stop it being magical? Does that stop it being wondrous? Of course it doesn't. So actually manifestation is a scientific process. They see it in particle physics, they see it in quantum physics, and it's just part of life. Like particles are attracted to each other when they're attracted. And you see it with a magnet, right? If you have two magnets pointing the right way, they attract each other. If they're pointing the wrong way, they push each other away. Manifestation can also be pushing away of something as well. So you create a space rather than a thing. So it's very practical, I'm afraid. It's very boring.
Damn it. Right. Interview's over then. Bye.
But the thing to know is, because everything is energy, that means you're always manifesting. The energy that you sit in is what you manifest from. So when people think they're unlucky, they tend to attract more bad luck. Yeah. But that's simply because they feel unlucky, and that's the energy that they're putting out. So like attracts like. When you're feeling worried and scared, you attract more worry and fearsome things. Do you know what I mean? Because, and then it feels like it's the universe proving proving that you shouldn't have the thing. But it's about what you focus on, what you feel, and that will attract that into your life. Now, I'm not going to lie to you and say when you start manifesting positively, life is a breeze. It isn't. Manifesting, you can still accidentally manifest crap things in your life. But what happens when the more you manifest, the more you learn about yourself, and the big things that happen start to feel smaller. So you find it more easy to navigate the big things. You just manifest something more positive to help you out. Does that help? Does that make it clear?
It does help a wee bit, because I've heard different inverted commas definitions, right? But whenever I've heard them, it seems, right, excuse me, it sounds like the author or the speaker is trying to outwanker themselves by making it sound as waffly, spiritual, out of reach. And it's like, you hear it with experts a lot, don't you? That they try and make it sound complicated to prove that they are the best
Yeah.
at it, or they know best. And it's like blinding people with the science, if you like.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. Like, and if you, like, it's almost, to me, I work a lot with mindset and success mindset and how to get results, and everything that we do. Like, I work a lot with health, wellness, weight loss is a big topic, and we'll never succeed unless we have the right mindset for it. We'll never, if we don't believe we can do it, for example. That's pretty much the same as manifesting,
Energy. It's
isn't it? It's that
exactly the energy.
we have to unpick all these beliefs that if we don't believe we can do it, then you're never going to do it.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
And another example from science is the very well-known placebo effect. You probably know about that as well. When people believe that they're getting a treatment, they attract the health that they believe that treatment's going to give them. And the placebo effect, they can't really explain it in a lot of cases, but it shows up in most clinical trials. So because they believe that they're getting healthy, they attract health to them. And we see amazing stories about people healing, their endocrine system, even cancer sometimes. Like, you have to use your discernment with it. But like, we can manifest whatever we focus on. If you focus on health rather than illness, then you're going to achieve it. If you focus on success and goals, then you're going to move that towards you. So it is literally that. It just means to create and make. That's it. What you focus on is what you create. That's the really fancy bit about it, is what you focus on. And sometimes what you focus on, this is where it gets a little bit complex. Sometimes what you focus on, you think it's in your head, you think it's your thoughts. It's not your thoughts, it's your entire system. Like, you can think a positive thought, but your nervous system's still dysregulated. Well, to manifest reliably, you need your mind, body, and soul in alignment. So your nervous system has to reflect it, and like, your soul needs to believe it. What we tend to do is there's this great book. It's a good book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Very old book. But he alludes to the fact that if you think positively, positive things will happen. That is partly true. And that's where I think people fall out of love with manifestation, when they're like, but I'm thinking all the positive things. But then they're not feeling it, the energy of it. Like Einstein talked about, everything is energy. Every emotion you have has energy. So what are you putting out? Because that's what you're attracting in, and that's what you're creating in your awareness.
It's absolutely fascinating. And that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about is, and I'll come to it, I think, actually, but if you were someone who is just hearing this for the first time, and they're like, well, why bother? Why should I do this? Like, what is your response to that? Like, why should we do this rather than just keep doing what we've been doing?
Okay, if you are someone who thinks, is this all there is? Like, life is a challenge. I don't seem to ever get ahead. If you're someone that thinks that, then you should absolutely explore manifestation, because I'm here to tell you that's not all there is. Struggle, working hard. I mean, I love working, don't get me wrong, but it gets to be fun. Struggling, working hard, like constantly being on the edge, being nervous. Like if you are interested, if you're curious, if there's something else, manifestation can prove it to you really fast. Because there are two types of people that question and people that don't. It's like the Matrix, isn't it? Like some people want to know the truth and other people don't. The great thing is when you dive out of the Matrix with manifestation, it's all good. It's not horrible. But some people literally aren't ready to experience life differently. They have created a pathway for themselves, and for some reason they can't deviate from it. And you'll probably find that in your work as well. They just can't. They're not ready for it. They may never be ready for it, and they may come to it later. And so those people I don't try and convince. I had an argument with an ex-Navy guy, actually, and I was trying to convince him, and then I stopped halfway through the conversation. I was like, look, if you're not open to it, I'm not gonna try and convince you. This is try it. Mm-hmm. Do the thing, manifest something, prove to yourself you can do it. A great manifestation technique is, when you buy a car, and you think, I like that car. I've not seen that car around. I haven't seen that color or that model. And then you drive off the forecourt. Every fucker has got that car, right? Haven't they? Like you hadn't seen that car.
Everybody has a black Volvo XC40 like mine.
They're like, exactly. And that's because you're focused on that car. And all of a sudden, that's all you can see. Like, it's so powerful. Now, you haven't seen that car before. And then all of a sudden, everyone's got one, So it's a really powerful thing. Some people aren't ready for it. Some people can't process the fact that what they've learned and taken on as theirs throughout their life may not be the only option. Some people aren't ready for that. And that's okay. When I first started this, I wanted to take everyone on the journey with me. But I was spending too much time dragging people rather than leading the people that were on board.
Yeah, and it's a really hard one because you'll get the people who are self-confessed woo-woo and are open to everything. And then you get people that I said at the very beginning, I'm not woo-woo at all, but then I went on to list 5 different things that I'd done that would be considered woo-woo.
Really woo-woo.
And I think like it's that whole tagging of personality types, isn't it? We don't necessarily want to, but like going back to what we said before about how a lot more women in their 40s and 50s are really open to learning new things about themselves, how to do things differently. And like, we're going to talk a little bit about, how to do this and how to do that. But it feels like if there's a way to get more joy in your life or to make your life easier or happier or more fun or to get more joy, then what have you got to lose?
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
What have you got to lose? And I think, like you mentioned, I must see this a lot. Like, I get people that are so stuck in lack of self-belief. They hate themselves. They hate what they look like. They hate how they feel. They hate how they act. They hate all the things. But I hear more, no, that's not for me.
Yeah.
And I hear yeses because this is what I know. And I felt like this for the last 15 years. And this, I can't process what it feels like to feel better or to do something different for myself. And like, it's hard to accept, isn't it?
It is hard to accept, but when you understand the human brain, the psychology and the physiology that also comes with the psychology, your subconscious mind will always choose a familiar hell over an unfamiliar heaven, because that familiar heaven, whilst it might be psycho-cybernetics, yeah, like it will always, like, something new that feels amazing is new. And that is scary to your subconscious mind. And so your subconscious mind's purpose is to keep you safe. When you stretch your comfort zone and you start experiencing joy and abundance and happiness all at the same time, your subconscious mind goes, whoa, that's nice, but we're not used to that. So it's constantly trying to keep you alive by keeping you in your in your comfort zone. The really annoying thing about your subconscious mind and your comfort zone is when you do stretch it, it feels completely normal. All that fear and all that noise just disappears. It doesn't even go, oh, well done, Eloise, you did that. It's just like, well, yeah, it's fine. It's normal now. But your subconscious mind is always going to want to pull you back to your comfort zone. Some people can't overcome that, and other people learn to get a little bit uncomfortable and they see the change, and very soon it becomes their new normal. Yeah,
It's so true. Like when at the very, very beginning of me being self-employed, I saw a business coach. And this business coach, it was $8,000 for 90 days. I was like that. Nah, and the more I saw the person, I was like that. But if they can make me earn X amount of delivering their promises, then, and that was the hardest, that was the biggest fear, comfort zone thing that I have ever experienced in my entire life. Since then, I have spent multiple thousands on business coaches, multiple thousands on self-development. But I now know that actually, if I do that, I know that I'm going to up level. I know that, like, whether it's in terms of my own development or whether it's a business development or income generation, whatever, I know that I'm reaching a new level. And that I now know, like, if I was to say to my sister, for example, right, you're going to spend £8,000 on a course, she'd be like, get in the seat. Like, it's going to happen. But now somebody say that to me like that, if I've got it and I think it's worth it, then yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. But all that ick around investing that first time, as soon as you've done it, like, it goes away, doesn't it? It's like,
And it really does. And now, like, I work with women who, some of which have never even thought about working with a coach in terms of their health. And now that they've done it, they can't imagine never not working with a coach, because I liken it to that whole, like, we've got families, we've got jobs, we've got pets, husbands, old parents getting older. Why would you not exchange some money to someone that's going to make your life easier by just telling you what to do and how to do it? Like, and it's that kind of like having to go through that process to go, well, do you know what? My time is precious, my energy is precious. I'll trade off that with somebody to help me. And it's like, once you get into those types of self conversations, mate, life can get so much easier.
Exactly. And like your coach, like I talk to my partner, Mark, about my business. He doesn't understand my business, even though he's seen us manifest money. He's like, oh, I don't know, it's a bit woo for me. I mean, seriously. But he comes up with these ideas for my business, and I'm like, no, you don't get it. I need someone that gets it. And so, like, I love working with coaches, although sometimes you do find, and it's so annoying, oh, do you know what? I knew that. I had to be told that. And sometimes it's just like they're telling you stuff that you already knew, but somehow you've forgotten. It's like, damn it, I knew that too. I should be doing that. Sometimes you just need a coach to say, you've got the tools, let's do it. Let's stop not using them and start using them, right?
No, it's a whole shift, doesn't it? And that whole, like, subconscious screaming at you going, but you're not dead, just keep doing what you're doing because you're safe and you're warm, and you might not be happy and you might be miserable and you might be unhealthy and you might be all of these things. You're dead, so just stay where you are. And that's that first step into ripping off that plaster and just going, shut up, brain, I know that this is going to help me, is like quite a scary place to be.
Exactly. And that's the stretch. And I always think, like, your comfort zone is like a pair of tights. You know, when you get them out of the box and they're about that big, but once you've worn them, they never go back to that size, do they? That's what your comfort zone is. It's a bit of a
really good analogy.
It's a struggle to get them on first time, but after that, they're like Nora Batties, aren't they?
Oh, I hate tights. I really don't have they don't design tights for the size of my thighs. And the size.
I've got really big thighs as well, but and I get it, like, it's really uncomfortable, isn't it? Yeah.
But it's not, oh God. Anyway, right? This was not meant to go down the tights conversation, right? No. So if you can tell us, and I don't know if you can or whether this is like trade secret and stuff, but how do you manifest? Because I have dipped my toe in the water and I've done the visualizing and I've done the writing down and but there's something that I'm not doing because
so you are already manifesting. Just know that you are manifesting. Everything that comes into your life, you have manifested, and that sucks sometimes. That really sucks. But you can manifest positively, and the way that you do that is simply, and it's simple, but it needs a lot of work, if you see what I mean, is set an intention. Start small, okay? The best thing, right, money is the easiest thing to manifest when you know how to, okay? But you need to know how to. The best thing to do is to manifest a parking space or a green light. So what you do is you focus on, you just think for a moment in your mind of the perfect parking space. And I often say out loud and say that I'm asking my parking angel, just say, I'll have the perfect space for me, thank you. And I just quickly imagine it, and then like 9 times out of 10, I rock up and I get the spot outside where I'm going, which is impossible. I don't know. I know you live in Scotland, but on the south coast of England, we don't have a lot of room and we have a lot of people. And getting a parking space is one hell of a feat. So to be able to rock up somewhere and park outside in the perfect parking space is incredible. Green lights as well. You can manifest green lights as you're driving. They're really easy to manifest because they don't mean anything to you. They're not going to ruin your life if you don't get a parking space. We put a lot of junk on money, and so we get in our heads about manifesting money. So I would say start small. What do you want to manifest? You could just say, I want to. One of the people I work with, she talks about yellow cars. You just like, oh, I'm going to manifest. I'm going to manifest seeing yellow cars, or I want to manifest seeing a butterfly. Even in the middle of winter, you'll find a way to see a butterfly, whether it's in a book, on a tattoo, or something like that. It literally can be that simple. Focus on what you want and then be open to seeing it. Okay. The stuff when it comes to money and success is the stuff that we get hooked onto. So we need to add an extra layer to manifestation, which I don't think many people actually talk about. And that is healing what's inside of us. Most of us have stories about money being the root of all evil, people with money being mean, having money means you're greedy. All these sorts of stories that we're told. And because we're told those stories from a very young age, they kind of get like hardwired into our system, not just our mind, but into our nervous system. And that's why we feel triggered when people talk about money sometimes. That's why if someone gets your heckles up, it's because there's something in your system that is now acting on autopilot for you, trying to keep you safe. So what we need to do is some healing work. Sometimes that's quite practical. It's like having a conversation with yourself, chatting yourself through it. Other times we do energy healing. I'm a hypnotherapist. We do a lot of hypnotherapy to heal the mind-body connection when it comes to things that are important, such as someone to share your life with and money. We also need to look at the positive reasons why we avoid the good things in our lives. And it's really hard to articulate that. But for example, if you believe that having money makes you greedy, then it's safer for you and better for you if you don't have money. That's how your mind works. It's just very simple. It doesn't add all the color in. It's just black and white. It's like when people have been very ill for a long time, or as a child they were ill and they got attention from their parents. It's a benefit that they get attention from being ill, and so they may manifest illnesses so that they get attention. They're not doing it deliberately, but that's like their default setting. I went through a phase of being ill and like getting the attention. And it took me, I had endometriosis, I had depression and anxiety. Every time something got healed, I got something else. And I had to heal that pattern so that I could manifest health rather than attention through being ill. And so this is where it gets uncomfortable with manifesting. You can manifest car parking spaces, you could probably manifest a chunk of money, but when it really means something to you, when it's in your nervous system, in your emotional system, it can be quite hard, and there's a lot of healing to be done on yourself. The beautiful thing about manifestation is when it doesn't work, it's showing you where you need to do the work. And that again is another layer of discomfort. So it is about committing to wanting to do the work And every time you heal that part of you that's holding you back, you get an up level. You start to be able to manifest easy. Opportunities start coming towards you so fast. Your health improves. It's just incredible. The way we do money is the way we do everything, which I think is really powerful. Sometimes it's hard to see, but a lot of my clients go, oh, do you know what I've realized? The way I think about money, that's how I think about food as well. Lots of links.
A huge connection between
Yeah.
what we believe to be true about our bodies and food as connected to our money relationship.
Because you manifest from your feelings, your energy, your beliefs, the things that you can't really change that easily. You can absolutely change them. So we attract more of it. Like it literally plays out in patterns all around our life. The beautiful thing about using money as the vehicle for manifestation is it just helps you with everything in your life. My health is better than it's ever been. My relationship is the healthiest I've ever had. I've had some really bad relationships. And my relationship with myself, like, even though I still make mistakes and I still trip over my words and I still have days where like my nervous system is so dysregulated and my hormones are not helping, I'm kinder to myself. I don't make it mean anything. And that the peace that manifestation has shown me when I've gone deep into it has been incredible. However, as I said, you can manifest little bits and bobs without doing the deep work. Just depends how much of a shift you want to have. It's like anything. You can go all the way in, part the way in, or you can stay out of it. It's entirely up to you. And you know what, we're talking about women in their 40s and 50s and what have you. It's taken us 40, 50 years to get to this point. It takes a little bit of time to undo and clear the things that we don't want, that aren't serving us anymore. So whilst manifestation can be instant, if you want to become a truly powerful manifester, there's the process of healing that helps you manifest much easier and have a better relationship with yourself as well.
Oh, it's also fascinating. And you touched on it there as well about the, what if it's not working?
Yeah.
Is it because you're actually manifesting something else? Like, is it because you're actually not feeling what you're thinking, but you're not feeling it?
Yeah.
Like there's just so many different connection points, isn't there? It's like, how do you identify what bit isn't working?
Well, this is where having a supportive group of people working together really helps. I mean, one story came to mind for me there when you were saying that, and it was I wanted to manifest a cleaner, and I had the money for it, but I couldn't find a cleaner. Or I'd find a cleaner and then they wouldn't be reliable. They'd be really flaky. And this went on for a couple of years. And then all of a sudden I thought, why is this manifestation so hard for me? And what I realized was I was actually trying to manifest a clean house rather than a cleaner. Like, I wanted to walk in the house and run my hands along the worktops that I've got and know that they're clean, like feel the cleanliness of it. I wanted to be able to walk in and like you can just smell when your house is clean. Not that my house smells when it's not clean, but it's got a different smell, hasn't it?
Yes.
I wanted to walk into my bedroom and my bed had not just been made by me that throws the duvet out, gives it a shake, but like it's beautiful. And what I realized is that I was actually trying to manifest from a place of negativity. And the negativity was actually, I don't want a dirty house. I don't want a dirty house. So I was like kept manifesting a cleaner and she'd disappear. And it's a little nuance in our language. The words that we tell ourselves are beyond powerful. When we write stuff down, we are spelling and spell casting. If you love the woo-woo, we are creating as we think and speak and write. We need to know how powerful our words and thoughts and feelings are. I was annoyed that I was coming in to a house that didn't feel clean, and I was trying to manifest from that point of view. And so that little switch from I'm manifesting a cleaner because I don't want something, I don't want a dirty house, to I want a clean house. I manifested Aga. She's amazing. She's been with me for 4 years. She never misses a beat. I could never get this house that clean, and she does it every single week. When she goes on holiday, I'm like, please don't go. Please don't go. And it was something as simple as that. It's always something simple and small. And we need people to kind of point that out to us for sometimes. So I'm the money alchemist. How could I not manifest a cleaner? You know, like that's my thing. And it was just a little thing. It's like, oh, it's because I don't want something. So instead, I focused on running my hand over the worktop, seeing the bed, walking in and smelling the smells. Your imagination is so powerful, and your mind actually doesn't know the difference between reality and imagination. And so daydreaming, goal setting, it's all forms of imagination. And, you know, we use the term goal setting in the non-woo-woo world, but that's what you're doing. You're visualizing, you're attracting, you're intending, and you're magnetizing your energy towards that. It's the same thing, it just has a different word. But if you're focusing on what you don't want, if you think, I don't want to, I don't know, I don't want to stay at this business anymore, I don't want to stay in this job anymore, rather than I want to move to an amazing job, that can be the nuance that stops you, that trips you up. It's always little things, isn't it? Little tweaks that make a big difference.
That's so interesting, like what you're talking about, the subconscious doesn't know the difference between real and imagined. Like this book inspired like a part of what I do with clients about that whole designing. Who do you want to be? What do you want to look like? How do you want to feel? What clothes do you want to be wearing? Where do you want to live? Like, and actually working really hard on this future version of you, because ultimately, if you're seeing it and feeling it and believing it, you're going to be taking the action subconsciously to get to that point as well. So it's
you're going to be manifesting it by attracting it. Like you're going to be moved. That's it. And there's something else about manifestation and goals, is that a lot of the time we think it's a magical process that happens outside of us. It's not. It's a process, especially the big stuff. It's a process that happens inside of us. We don't achieve our goals. We evolve into people for whom those goals are inevitable. They're just part of life. We have changed as people. And so therefore it's absolutely, that goal's going to happen, that intention's going to happen. We embody it when we start imagining it. We start feeling it when we imagine it. We see ourselves standing tall. We see ourselves healthy and fit, and we see ourselves manifesting money. Like we just evolve into the person that can do that.
It's so fascinating when you scratch the surface. Like, and like I think like the word manifesting probably has got a bit of a bad rep now as being oh well, if you just think it and believe it, you're gonna get an envelope in your front door with £10,000 in it. Like that's not likely to happen. Like maybe
it is if you truly believe it in your system, in your nervous system, in your if you truly believe that a check is going to come through, then it will happen. But if you have any doubt, it's not going to happen. And we also see people setting goals and intentions for manifestation to deliberately self-sabotage themselves. They'll go, oh, well, I want to manifest £1 million in a week. Can you do that? Yes, you can. If you are in alignment, if your nervous system isn't kicking off because your body is like, no, that's not going to happen. You can absolutely manifest £1 million in a week. When I figured that out, the healing, I'll let you know. We'll do it together.
That's book volume 2.
But we set ourselves goals like that, and then we go, oh, well, see, it didn't happen. It doesn't work. It's manifestation's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's not. It's just that you haven't done the work. You haven't done the work that heals you to be able to be the person that can happen to.
And that's the whole point, I suppose, of starting small and doing the yellow card or doing the parking space. I suppose when it does happen, it gives you that belief of, oh, yeah. It gives you that little bit of confidence that maybe the next time if you do something and it's a little bit more, and it happens, it builds on that belief. So absolutely makes sense.
One super manifestation is when you've lost your keys, stand still, let all the negativity and fear and panic drain out of you. Just imagine yourself putting your hands on your keys, focus on that, and they literally turn up. Like I've looked there and they weren't there.
Here's a top tip from the perimenopause forgetful woman, which is me. They are either in the fridge or in the hood of your jacket. They're the 2 places that I have found my keys last year.
I mean, why wouldn't they be in those places?
No, like, why would they not be next to the yogurt? Like, why would they not be in your hood of your dry robe and you've had to go and get new keys cut and all of, yeah, anyway. Right, okay. I didn't have any other questions, but I do want you to tell the lovely ladies listening where they can find you, where they can download stuff, what
Yeah.
can they do, all that kind of stuff.
So there's so much that you can do, as you've probably seen, like we can scratch the surface, but there's always like, it depends, and you have to go deeper and deeper and deeper. Come and find me on Facebook. That's my biggest social media home, Eloise Burton. Just come and find me. There's normally a banner telling you what I'm doing. I have a free group, and again, you can find that through my banner. Come and friend me or follow me, whatever you want. My website is fearlesslyfeminine.me. There's loads of free money magic on there for manifesting. You can download a guide, 5 daily habits. They're called the Money Magic Foundations. Doing those help you switch on your manifesting muscle. And it is a muscle. It's something that we have to practice. And on my website, you can get my book. The book's free. You just need to pay for postage and packaging. It is also available on Amazon if you can't wait. They will deliver it the next day. I will not. It will take about a week for me to deliver it. It's available on Kindle. It's available on Audible. So whatever format that you want to receive it in is amazing. It's a beautiful book, and apparently it's pretty good. I've got lots of lovely reviews.
Apparently it is good. You know it's good.
People love it. People love that it's written for the person who doesn't have a lot of attention span. It's short chapters. It's an explanation and a thing you can do. So there's like a thing you can do in every single chapter. And it also tells you how you can get more stuff and like learn from me, or you can learn from me and do it alone if you want. So yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Right, that was so interesting. If you've got any questions for Eloise, you can head over directly to her socials and ask them, or you can ask me and I'll put you in touch. But that was absolutely fascinating. And I think going back to what I said before about being open to doing things differently or thinking differently, because if you're not 100% loving life, happy with what you've got, then there's literally nothing to lose from opening your mind to new things. We were just talking about all the various things that I've done over the past few years, like access bar therapy and Reiki, and there'll be things that you love and the things that you'll connect with, and there'll be things that you go, "That was shit, I'm not doing it again." But there's just so much more than what we potentially think or what we have, so it's always worthwhile exploring.
Absolutely. I've been interviewing some of my clients because I'm doing a free challenge at the moment, and they all say like life is more colorful when we do this work, when we do the manifestation, when we lean into the magic. Life is more colorful, and if that's the only thing it gives you, surely it's worth it.
Yeah. Oh no, I love that phrase actually. Yeah, that's nice. Oh, on that note, we'll leave it there. Right, thank you ever so much for listening, my loves. I will speak to you soon in the next episode, and as always, please do the things like, share, comment, subscribe, whatever the thing is, whatever. Yeah, it gives me more listeners and therefore more kudos, and then I can say that my podcast is amazing. So yeah, do the things. Right, I'm going to stop recording now and speak to you later, audience.
Bye.
And just like that, we have spiced up another episode of Piss Off Perimenopause and the Musings of a Bullshit Queenager. Massive shout out and a huge thank you for hanging out with me today. I really hope you've been entertained. And remember, don't be shy, hit that subscribe button. And until next time, keep those heels high and standards higher. Remember, it's all about glowing, growing, and downright owning it. So catch you on the flip side, and don't forget to click the link in the show notes to get your freebie.